All right. Thank you, Jason, for that. All right. So let's try that again. Um,
Take it from the top, Andy.
Taking it from the top. Okay. So this is just the one slide from my public benefits charge explainer video, and this is energy efficiency. So what you're looking at here is the usage on the hottest day of last year, and you can kind of see it starts around 20K, it dips down a little bit, then it goes above 25K. Now, the thing about what you're seeing on this screen is this actually did not happen. The bars actually weren't that high because, um, oh, and just backing up a little bit, this big dollar sign up at the top the price is about 25 times what it is at the bottom. And the bottom, it's like around $42 a megawatt. Translate that into kilowatts, it's 4.2 cents. Up here might be north of $1,200. It's hard to say, again, because the usage is lower than that because of energy efficiency. Let me kind of go back there and do it a little bit more slowly. So I put the green at the top because that's every single energy efficiency measure that you can think of. It's HES, it's HESIE, it's Small Business Energy Advantage, and tonight's program is going to clue us into an investment opportunity, and it's about energy efficiency. So we do the energy efficiency, and everybody across New England saves when that happens. It reduces peak demand. You guys probably already know this statistic, but for when you shave the top 1% off of peak demand, it saves you 8% of the cost of the total bill. So a little bit goes a long way. And having said that, um, Rudy and Jason, if you guys are ready, I will turn it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
I think Rudy's going to pull up the presentation. Great. But good evening, everybody. Jason Velasquez with the Connecticut Green Bank as Manager of Community Outreach. I'm joined today by my colleague, Rudy. Rudy, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. Hopefully you can still hear me. I can't see my
Yeah,
screen right now. Perfect. I'm Rudy Stirk, Director of Marketing and Communications for the Green Bank. I've met most of you before, so I'm excited to see you all again.
yeah, and exciting stuff. Hopefully folks are joining for the recording. We're getting some new folks on. So nice to meet y'all also for joining in that way. Yeah, we're excited today. We're going to chat about, a little bit about Green Bank 101, give you a background of who we are, how we operate some of our programs, talk a little bit about some of our societal impact, and then roll into some of the Green and Liberty notes. So go to next slide, Brittany. Yeah, that's just what I just said there. Next slide, please. Um, So, Connecticut Green Bank, we are the nation's first state-level green bank, and we were established in 2011 as a quasi-public agency. We use limited public dollars to attract private capital investment and offer green solutions that help people, businesses, and all of Connecticut thrive. Our mission is to confront climate change by increasing and accelerating investment into Connecticut's green economy and to create more resilient, healthier, and equitable communities and our vision is a planet protected by the love of humanity. Next slide, please. At Connecticut Green Bank, we have three main goals. Those are to leverage our limited public resources to scale up and mobilize private capital investment in the green economy, and we'll share on the next slide a bit about what that looks like. We also have a goal to pursue investment strategies that advance market transformation and green investing while supporting the organization's financial sustainability goals. And then third, we strengthen Connecticut's communities, especially vulnerable communities, by making those benefits of the green economy inclusive and accessible to all communities and businesses. Next slide, please. This is a visualization of the green bank model. So right up there at the top there with attracting private investment by leveraging small amounts of public funding. You see that Connecticut Green Bank in the middle. We take in that public funding, the ratepayer dollar, taxpayer dollars, and pair that with private investment. With that, we apply innovative financing tools to deploy investment towards our programs in a couple different ways that we do that, some of which may be a bit more familiar to folks thinking about the performance-based incentive model to increase private investment and capital deployment. We'll talk about some of our Green Liberty notes today. We also do some credit support for some of our local lenders and local community banks to support in affordable financing. Right below that, you'll see all the different markets and sectors that we operate in. So environmental markets, waste recycling, energy efficiency, solar. So these are present across all of our different programs that we have here, all with the goal of delivering social and environmental benefits to Connecticut's families and businesses. And our programs are designed for homeowners, contractors, buildings, and communities. Next slide, Rudy. Yeah, so thinking about some of our impact, we have mobilized over 3.11 billion dollars of investment into the state's economy since inception in 2011. Uh, that means we've used about 463 million dollars in Green Bank dollars to attract 2.65 billion in private investment. So we've been able to attract $6.70 or almost $7 for every public dollar that we have, showing that we are a steward of funds that we receive and to support Connecticut's green economy. And I think we have a short video that kind of explains that. Let's see.
Hopefully the audio is going to work here. Let's find out.
Let's see.
Since its creation in
All good.
2011, the Connecticut Green Bank has mobilized over $3 billion in public and private investment to build a cleaner future. These projects have helped create over 30,000 jobs and delivered energy savings to more than 73,000 families and businesses while reducing emissions and improving air quality for everyone. This is more than finance. It's real change, powered by people, partnerships, and a planet protected by the love of humanity.
It's a really great video that we like to show just to wrap in together all of the aspects of some of our work. Next slide, Rudy. And if anyone has questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm sure we'll have some time at the end, or you can write them down and hold on to them and we can get to them also. You heard a little bit about some of these figures in that video there, thinking about the number of jobs we've created, the tax revenues that we've supported, the development of megawatts of saving or of green energy deployment, and how we've addressed energy burden in supporting families, both in residential properties, affordable multifamily properties, and in commercial buildings as well. Next slide, please. Here I want to share a little bit more about some of the equity side there. You can see that across our Green Bank programs and products, we have set goals to reach 40% investment in communities that may be disproportionately harmed by climate change. Those being the Community Reinvestment Act eligible communities, low income and disadvantaged communities, and those within the CGES tool, the Climate and Economic Justice Screening tool, and also vulnerable communities as aligned with our Department of Economic and Community Development there. So you can see a bit about where we're at across our programs there, and in total across these different community groups. And this is all information that on the next slide you're able to access through our Maya tool. So you go to that ctgreenbank.com/Maya or mapping analysis of your area tool, you're able to go on this website and see all of those different measures there in the middle of investment impact, job year impact, tax revenue, public health, energy avoided impact, or avoided emissions impact, or greenhouse gas avoidance equivalencies. If you click on one of those, and the next slide has an example here. So here I clicked on just total investment across different communities. Once you click on one of those different measures, it'll take you to this, and up in the top left, you'll be able to see different ways that you can break down sort of seeing which geographic level our impact has been, whether that's looking at the House districts, the Senate districts, congressional districts, counties, municipalities, or census tracts. So here I had it as a municipality map. You can see that in the middle. And at the top there, it shows all of the total investment amount, total project count, and then towards the right side, you're able to break it down a bit by your specific community. So I know we have a lot of task force folks. If you're interested in seeing what the Green Bank has done in your community, this is a great way to get a quick start there. You're able to interact with the map. You can click on it. It'll signal it out, or you can scroll through it on the side there. But this is a really cool tool that we have on our website. And Andy, in a follow-up, we'll be sure to link this for folks who may be interested in learning more and seeing more. All right, next slide. This is our solutions branding. So when we think about how we segment some of our work, this is how we do that. And you'll see some of those colors consistent either throughout our presentation, throughout our marketing materials, at different events. They stay pretty consistent with these lines. So home solution is our solutions for residential properties, building solutions for commercial and industrial, affordable multifamily housing, investment solutions being things where our Green Liberty notes may sit, but then also some more capital solutions, community solutions being some of the work that we may be doing with electric school buses, and then contractor solutions being our robust contractor network that we have to support those who are taking advantage of our programs and products, and the state's energy storage solutions program that we are the co-administrator of the incentives for as well, both on the residential and commercial and industrial side. Then next slide. This was brought up before we started the recording a bit, but the background that I have on Zoom and the screen there that you see on the slide is how we visualize our community engagement strategy. So a few years ago, the Green Bank really did some intentional workshops internally to think about what our role in community looks like over the next few years, and to continue to develop the work that we've had and build on some of the partnerships that we've built throughout past campaigns also. So this kind of shows that through the inform to empower model, how we think about we want to get folks informed, we want to consult folks with our programs, we want to involve people, we want to collaborate with community partners, and we want to empower folks to really make a change and a difference in our communities. So our statement, I'll read it out loud, but it's there. The Green Bank strives to build trust and awareness within our community, especially among its most vulnerable members, through clear, transparent communication, education, and active listening, enabling us to understand and meet their needs. By strategically cultivating strong collaborative and reciprocal relationships with stakeholders, we empower them to achieve their energy, environmental, and resiliency goals while advancing the mission of the Green Bank and realizing its vision of a planet protected by the love of humanity. All right, next slide, please. The next few slides are just talking a bit about different ways that we can maybe collaborate or get involved. We've been developing a really great relationship with Sustainable Connecticut. We do some workshops on our commercial property assessed clean energy or CPACE program with Sustainable CT. We also do workshops on the Smarty Loans program with Sustainable CT that Rudy will talk about in a little bit. And on the next slide, you'll see a bit about our municipal resources. So last year, we really wanted to think about how to engage different councils of governments, different municipal leadership into ways that we can share about our programs and products. We ended up developing a informative workshop menu that within it has a general list of all of our programs and products for folks that are interested in kind of going to a one-stop shop to understand everything that we do at a very high level. We've been working with the South Central Regional Council of Governments recently to do a workshop series where once a month we're presenting on a different program. So this is something that we can also work with Andy and the Energy Network, or with different task forces to try to think about which programs and products might be the best fit for different communities, or what campaigns could look like in the future. And the next slide is just to share a bit about our 2026 top priority focus areas. So if you see us around, If you see us tabling, you see us presenting somewhere, it may be on one of these three things. You'll see us engaging with affordable multifamily housing through our Solar Marketplace Assistance Program Plus or Solar Map Plus program, which provides no-cost technical assistance to affordable housing property owners to do solar and consider battery storage, doing the site assessments, considering what some of those economics may be. We are investing in electric school buses, so we run the Fleet Electrification Accelerator program for school districts across the state. We provide the technical assistance platform for going from point zero to point 100, if you will, for electric school buses, whether school districts own and operate their own buses or their own fleets, or if they contract out, we're able to work with them to put together a plan that aligns with state policy. And then the new area for us with our 2021 mission expansion to include environmental infrastructure and recent passage of Public Act 2153 and 30 and 21. Wow, 2153 and 2533. That's a mouthful. We are considering a lot about some of the resilience aspects of our work and are expanding our programs to include resilience offerings, whether that's on the home and residential side or the commercial and industrial side, or thinking about how we can support municipalities in large scale resilience planning also. And that's it from me, and I will toss it over to Rudy.
All right. Thank you, Jason. So before we get into the Green Liberty notes and bonds a little bit, I wanted to take a minute or two to talk about the Smarty loan. You may have heard of the Smarty loan. It's been around for more than 10 years, providing low-cost financing for energy efficiency and renewables for homeowners. And we've done more than 10,000 of these loans across the state. The Green Bank is the administrator of this program. We work with a network of participating contractors, literally hundreds of contractors, and a handful of local lenders to bring this product to market. And I just wanted to give a quick refresh on what it is and talk about the expansion that it underwent 2 years ago and talk about a special offer that's in the market now. So Smarty loan is an unsecured personal loan, owner occupied, 1 to 4 units for homeowners. It's not a property lien. It actually is attached to the human, the owner, not the property itself. Um, it does count for stationary mobile homes, and condos can also use it as long as they're individually metered. Um, it is a below market interest rate product. So rates currently are 6.99 to 7.99, depending on the term. There's no down payment, there's no prepayment penalties, and it covers a lot of different um, energy related improvements. So everything from heating and cooling, replacing windows, adding insulation. Um, there's more than 80 things. You can find them on our website. I'm not going to go through all of them. That would take all night. But it does provide financing up to $50,000. Um, and recently in, let me see, 2024, the program expanded to include resiliency focused measures. So things that offer storm protection for homeowners. So high impact glass windows, storm shutters, measures that are related to flood proofing. So installing French drains or um, replacing your driveway with material that is pervious, or elevating, relocating your HVAC equipment in your basement if you have basement flood proofing. Also things like drinking water quality, so replacing lead pipes or improving your well or replacing a well or connecting to public water. Also, the newest one is septic improvements. So for folks that have septic systems that need repairs or replacement, or if you need to connect to a public sewer, Smarty can now cover all of these measures. Also, you'll see on here landscaping. That's actually if you have dead trees on your property that we call them dangerous trees. If they could fall during a storm and damage your home or damage power lines, you can use that. You can also use it for the planting of native or shade trees. So Smarty has grown from what you may remember as just being about energy and renewables to this whole category of resilience for your home. We offer this through a network of lending partners that you see on the screen here. So wherever you live in the state, one of these lenders covers you. And the other piece that I wanted to mention is a special offer that is running from April through June for heat pumps specifically. There is a 0.99 promotional rate, which is a significant reduction from the normal 6.99% rate for 5 and 7 year terms up to $25,000. The 10-year term is being offered at 2.99, which is still quite an amazing rate versus the normal 6.99 with the maximum of $30,000. So this is money that is being provided through the utilities to us. So it's not Green Bank money, it's utility, essentially utility incentive money. And they're working with us to put that out into the community through SmartE. It covers air source heat pumps, ducted, ductless mini splits, ground source geothermal, and heat pump water heaters. So we saw this run starting at the end of last calendar year, and it was so successful that the utilities wanted to continue this. So we're running this now through June 30th. It is only for Eversource and Avangrid customers. Unfortunately, if you're not one of those customers, you do have to be approved for the Energize CT heat pump rebate if you're doing this. So again, rebate and good financing. So two really great ways to maximize what's available related to heat pumps. You don't have to participate in the Home Energy Solutions program to get either the rebate or the loan. Although I would suggest that it's always worthwhile to get a HES audit if you can, because it's useful to point out the ways that your home can be improved. The contractor must be an approved SmartE contractor in good standing. They also must be participating in Energize CT's heat pump installer network. Neither of those is a terribly high standard to achieve. So if a contractor is not participating, they can get enrolled in both of those programs quite easily. Yeah, and if the install is higher than 25 or 30,000, there is a blended rate that applies. So again, just wanted to point this out because I think it's an important special offer. It's taking place of the heat loan that some of you may remember that was offered through Capital for Change that ended a couple of years ago. And this is now, we hope, filling a bit of that gap for people looking to make these upgrades. All right, so having covered a bit about SmartE, let's switch gears and talk about Green Liberty investments. Ways that anyone can support Connecticut's green economy through investment. So these Green Liberty investments were inspired by the concept of collective action, that if we all work together, we can accomplish great things, right? And Brian Garcia, who many of you might know, the CEO and president of the Green Bank, was really inspired by the Series E war bonds that raised significant amounts of capital to support war efforts. And really, the common theme there was that a small amount of money can do a lot of good if people get behind it. So in recognition of the 50th anniversary of Earth Day back in 2020, we were planning on launching our first Green Liberty Bond. As you know, in 2020, there was a global pandemic, so it did sort of slow down things and affect what happened with that bond. But we were able to release that bond later in 2020, so not on Earth Day that year, but we came up with these essentially three pillars of what a Green Liberty bond would be. So the use of proceeds of the bond had to go to combat climate change, right, and support the Paris Agreement. It had to be accessible to retail investors. So not just institutional investors, not just the big guys, but we call them everyday investors, the mom and pop investors. Um, and to do that, we wanted to make sure that these were available in lower denomination, right? Most bonds are sold to, at $5,000 minimums. So we wanted to make sure that the minimum was more accessible, so we lowered the minimum to $1,000. We also had to make sure that these were independently certified as a green bond to meet those standards and provide a little bit of consumer protection. So, as I said, in 2020, the first bond was issued in July. It was closer to Independence Day than it was to Earth Day that year because of the pandemic. And it sold out. We sold nearly $17 million of investment that year. Retail investors were given priority, and the retail investment alone was nearly $10 million, with 5 million of that coming from Connecticut. So we proved out that there was a lot of interest in state and beyond from seeing all of that demand. So in 2021, we did a second one, sold out nearly $25 million. Again, significant investment from Connecticut citizens, significant demand. There was, again, more demand from Connecticut citizens and other states than we could fulfill. So we kept seeing this big amount of demand, and that was at the $1,000 minimum investment. So internally, we kept talking about what Jayson was talking about earlier. How can we make things more accessible, more inclusive? How can we open this up to more people? So the concept of a Green Liberty Note was created from that. And Green Liberty Notes, hold on one second. There we go. Wrong screen there. Green Liberty Notes. The first one was issued in December of 2021, and they were issued via crowdfunding. So a slightly different model, but it allows for people to be able to invest directly, efficiently, usually in a way that doesn't need a broker. It doesn't need any kind of investment account like a bond, a $5,000 bond would do. And so we partnered at the time with an organization called Raise Green. And we ran the first number of these Green Liberty Notes through Raise Green. They were acquired recently by Honeycomb Credit. A number of the people that worked for Raise Green still work for Honeycomb Credit. So it was a nice, smooth transition. So why regulation crowdfunding worked for us? It allows anyone to make a purchase, minimum purchase of $100. So we really got that accessibility involved there. Nearly anyone can invest. You can be an accredited investor or non-accredited investor, but you're still able to. The differences there really are just about income and net worth, but almost anyone can put in up to $2,500 per year. It also allows the Green Bank to raise up to $5 million a year just through crowdfunding if we wanted to. And we've slowly been increasing the amount of funds that we've been raising through our Green Liberty Notes. So the first one was in 2021. We are now on our 16th offering that opened earlier this month in celebration of Earth Day. We have raised more than $4 million. All of the investment, all that $4 million has gone directly to Eversource's Small Business Energy Advantage program, which Andy mentioned earlier. That is a program that small businesses can use to increase their energy efficiency. It provides them with an audit and then 0% financing on bill payment to make those reductions. And all of these offerings have been independently verified and recognized as a green bond because of those environmental benefits and energy benefits that we're providing to those small businesses. So you can see the link on the screen. That link will take you to the offering page. These are 1-year term notes, so similar to a certificate of deposit. This current one has an interest rate of 4.5% for the 1-year term. It's simple interest, not compounding interest. So if you put in $100 today, roughly a year from now, you'll get back $104.50. See what we have on the next slide here. So as I mentioned, minimum of $100. The maximum investment per person for this one is $25,000. To date, all 12 of the note offerings that have reached their maturity have been fully repaid on time. Green Bank is not an FDIC insured bank. We're not that type of bank, but all of our Green Liberty notes have what we call a debt service coverage ratio, which means that the Green Bank has set aside 2 times the amount of what we raise in a reserve fund, essentially to cover that, to make sure that there is no loss. So the security is based on the Green Bank's security. And of course, past performance does not indicate future performance. All the disclaimers. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a investment advisor. So please check out the Form C. You can find it at that link on the screen there. And it goes through all of the potential risks that could happen. There's always some kind of risk involved with any type of investment. Green Liberty notes are exempt from Connecticut state income tax. And we do prioritize the smaller dollar investments. We prioritize the Connecticut resident investment, and then we take the bigger ones. So the other thing I'll mention is that when we've been offering these quarterly, we've been raising up to $350,000. The current one, we had a feeling that for Earth Day, we would be able to raise more than $350,000. So we went to our board last week and asked them to approve an increase. So the current one, if you go to the link on here, you'll see that we're already well over 350,000 raised. We're closer to 400,000 raised. But now with that expanded cap, we can raise up to 500,000 in celebration of Earth Month. So if you're interested in that, there's plenty of room to invest in offering number 16. The way to do it would be to go and you essentially open an account with Honeycomb. Let's see if we can get this video to play. So you essentially sign in and create an account. Then you would go and click invest, and you can pick a dollar amount. You can type in a dollar amount. You can add your bank account directly, link your bank account. If you wind up doing it with something other than a bank account, like a credit card account, there is a fee. So I would suggest if you can do it with a bank account, it's probably the better way, since you'll lose a lot of your interest earnings paying the fee on a credit card transaction. They'll give you all the legal disclaimers, all the investment terms to review and sign off on, and it's pretty much as easy as that. You can also then leave a note and say why you invested, and those notes show up on the discussion page to show that the reason behind why you wanted to support this Green Liberty note offering. And that's it. It's pretty quick and simple, but when you go to the page, you can click on this view offering document. It is the full regulation offering document. It's 60 pages or so that describes all the risks and all the real details of the investment that it's worth understanding before you make an investment. So that's it. That's Green Liberty Notes in summary. Again, if you hit this link, it will take you to that investment page, and all the details and investment information can be found there.
Thank you, Rudy. Wow.
A lot to unpack, right?
Yeah. So that was nutrient dense, but there's a whole lot there that you guys are bringing to the table, and it's all good. Can I have two sort of delicate questions, and without going into politics, everybody knows that the investment on and support at the federal level has been curious. I'll leave it at that. So how does that affect this type of investment?
So the good thing is this type of investment is local, right? It's here, it is truly supporting Eversource's program here in Connecticut. And SBEA is supporting businesses and houses of worship and other small users of energy right here in Connecticut. So it's visible, it's going through us to SBEA, so you know that it is actually working and it is sort of um, not something that's affected by what's going on federally.
Well, that's good to hear. So did I hear correctly? And I think you said this, but just to verify, um, this gets essentially reinvested in Connecticut territory.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All of this goes into Eversource territory directly through the SBEA program.
Okay. I got a follow up, but Tim, why don't you go ahead and ask your question?
You're muted, Tim.
Thank you. Sorry about that. If I may, I actually wanted to step back a couple minutes pre-Liberty notes.
So I can't quite hear you.
Yeah, put on your mic from the top. There you go.
I
Yep.
apologize. My bad.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Um, yeah, so first of all, thank you for the explanation on the Liberty notes. It's been on my mind, but I hadn't really taken the time to figure it out. Um, but I have a question, if I may, to go back pre-Liberty note discussion, go back to the Smarty loan discussion.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was just curious. The Smarty loan that goes through a bank, right? So is there on-bill repayment on that, or it's just a regular bank loan?
So there is not on bill payment for that.
Okay,
You're right. It is. So you wind up as a Smart E loan borrower, you wind up having a relationship with one of the lending partners that are on the screen here. So you
sure.
essentially you may have to open an account. Most credit unions have some type of membership requirement or,
Yeah, yeah,
account.
yeah.
Um, and then you wind up having the loan directly with this bank and paying it back directly to them.
Yeah, no, that's what I was guessing. I wasn't sure. I will make one comment. So you're doing it at 1%, and I actually have heat pumps that were financed through the $15,000 Energized Connecticut loan. I'm not sure. I don't recall what the name of it was, but it was billed as a 1% loan. And so I assumed it would be what I considered to be a normal 1% loan. And actually, what Eversource does specifically is it was a $15,000 loan and it was 1% at the time of inception. So they threw whatever it was, 5 or 10 years. So they just, the bill on my monthly bill, the charge on my monthly bill at the first month it came through as $15,750. They're they just did it one time and then it draws down without any additional interest over the course of its 10 years. I'm just pointing it out because it was totally surprising to me when I saw it that way. And
Yeah.
frankly, I felt like it was intentionally misleading because that's not what a 1% loan how it would normally be calculated. Not a big deal, but I just wanted to mention it because I don't know if in the future they try to do it again. I think that loan is gone. Um, but it rung a bell for me because of the 1% relationship. When I took out that loan, they said it's a 1% loan, and you're talking about a 0.99, a 1% loan.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
was wondering if it was on an Eversource bill and if they were playing around with it like that, which, like I said, I felt was misleading. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, that
Thank
is
you, Andy.
definitely a different program. Yeah, like I say, this would be paid off directly through the lending partner, not on bill.
Yeah, I guess my general point is in the future when you're working with the utilities, just aware of that even if there is a standard like interest payment calculation, they may not use it. That's all. But thank you for this. The Liberty on my favorites, so I'll take a look at it.
Thanks, Tim. All right, so Rudy, the other question, I simply, I don't know the answer to this, but I figured you're here. I'm going to ask you. So, can you explain what the difference between secured and unsecured is? Because I was pretty sure I saw that for the Smarty loan, maybe. I don't know. But if you can respond to that, that would be great.
Yeah, so security. So on the Smarty loan, it's what we call an unsecured loan. So that just means like your mortgage on your home would be a secured loan, right? It's tied to the property. A car loan is secured by the car.
Okay.
An unsecured loan means that there is not that same security. So Smarty is not like taking out a home equity loan or a line of credit or a mortgage. It's actually goes with the person, right? So if I took out a Smarty loan, it's unsecured, but if I were to sell my home, I'm still on the hook for the Smarty loan,
Okay. All
right?
right.
So that's what secured means in that context. Um, Related to a Green Liberty note, there's so if you go to a bank or a credit union and open a CD for a year, it's insured. So either by the FDIC, which insures, banks, or the NCUA, which insures credit unions, up to a certain amount, right? That's the security that backs that product. Um, for Green Liberty Note, because we're not that type of financial institution, we have what is called this debt service coverage ratio. So for, a $500,000 Green Liberty Note raise, we have two times that amount of money put aside to make sure that we can pay out in a year, the the principal and the interest. So somewhere in the Green Bank's coffers, they've put this money aside to make sure that we can cover that. So that's essentially the security. So this is backed by, the security of the Green Bank, essentially.
Okay. So it sounds like it's a Smarty loan is unsecured because it would come directly to me. Um, but and I get that part. Um, but the notes are basically backed up by the Green Bank.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So anything happens, I go after Jayson. No, that's thanks for explaining that. Just kidding, Jayson. Just kidding. But that's good to know. Thank you. All right, folks out there in the peanut gallery, anybody got any questions? Not only on the Green Liberty Notes, but any of the presentation, which again was quite thorough.
So I do see the question in here about what assistance is available for nonprofit owned properties related to resilience. So, um, nonprofit, so essentially a commercial property that's used by a nonprofit. Our CPACE offering, which is Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy, is in the process of expanding to offer resiliency, similar to how our Smarty loan expanded into resiliency for homeowners. So, CPACE is going to become CPACE for resilience, which will offer things like potentially, it hasn't been finalized yet, but things like flood proofing and um, you know, fortified roofs, things like that. So that is in the process of happening. Um, yeah, so that's coming soon.
Okay, good. Thank you. Is there, Davida, take it away.
Yeah, hi everybody. This is a great presentation. I just want to clarify if I want to do this, which I do, The maximum I can invest is 25,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And my best way is to transfer it from my investment, from its current investment location, transfer it to my credit union bank account, and then go through the website and set up an account at Honeycomb connected to my bank account and transfer $10,000 or whatever I decided I can put in.
Yeah, that is the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the notes, 4.5% is a really solid rate. When we put these out, I think the first one, the rate was 1%. And our hope at that point, and our hope now is that people are able to move something from a savings account or a checking, something that's earning a very low percentage and not doing anything necessarily for the environment, right? Not really contributing in that way, and be able to move some of that money into a Green Liberty note.
Yeah, I might just say it's because I moved all my bank stuff out of fossil fuels, but I really want to move my investments out of fossil fuels. So this would be coming out of Vanguard and over. Could I just follow up on the nonprofit question? Who at Green Bank would I talk to understand more about what nonprofit things
So
are available?
yeah, so I would suggest that you can always email me, or Jason, and we can connect you directly. But I would
Okay.
say Peter Ludwig is probably um,
Okay.
the right person on all types of commercial related,
Okay.
whether it's commercial, energy efficiency, solar, whatever it is. Peter will be the right person.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
Peter's good. Thank you, Davida. I was thinking along the same lines. Okay, and another question would be, is there any kind of breakdown as to um, how much? So the Green Bank collects investor money. How much of that is directed to low income situations?
Related specifically to this, so as a whole, the Green Bank has a goal of 40% of all
Okay.
of our investment going to distressed communities. So on the SBEA, I don't have a specific off the top of my head, but our overall goal is 40%.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. No, I I understand you specifics are probably hard to come by off the top of your head, but that's good. It's a goal, and
yeah.
that mirrors the federal stance from a couple of years ago. So good.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing I'll say too, with SBEA, the Green Bank's line of sight into what projects what projects are occurring is a little bit limited because it's not specifically our program. Um, because of that, we are currently looking into ways to do project-specific related Green Liberty notes in the future.
Hmm.
Um, we're at the very early stages of it, and so I can't give any real specific details, but the hope is that by early fall, we'll be able to come back and say, we now have a Green Liberty note that's supporting something directly related to one of those priority areas that Jason talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Um, and then that way we'll be able to say, I'm going back to that screen just for reference. For example, maybe it's something that a Green Liberty note that's supporting a portfolio of solar projects on affordable multifamily housing or electric school buses or, some type of community resilience project that will be able to say that specific project is the recipient of this investment. So that's coming soon. We are working on that behind the scenes right now.
Okay. That sounds fantastic. And
That'd be exciting. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just imagining like in individual communities, Portland is doing a PPA with a large solar array on our closed landfill. All right, slow going, but we're hoping for to tie the knot on that. But I'm thinking if the community had an option to invest on 200 kW on the middle school, um, that would certainly, even if I wasn't the chair of the Portland Clean Energy Task Force, that would get my attention as an investment vehicle. Like, wow, investing something in my own community. And so, yeah, that's very exciting.
Yep, coming soon.
Any further questions for our two heroes? All right. Well, again, Jayson, Rudy, thank you so much. What I will do is let's you and I, the three of us, will coordinate tomorrow and just make sure that, and Tim, I see I won't leave without getting to you, that we have an email which is complete. Do you have this presentation already up on the Green Bank? Because I was going to load it to my YouTube channel and then send out the link to the CTEN network, right? So, but we can work that out. But what I want to do is make sure everybody has your contact information. They have the link to the Green Liberty Notes. They have the highlights from your presentation. The hope is that they'll be shared with C10 task forces. I'm sure, Davida, you'll pass this on to Third Act, and we can do the same thing with Save the Sound folks as well. So yeah, this is really good stuff. All right, I'll stop there. Tim, take it away.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, I'm just curious before the Green Bank folks jump off, or if anybody else happens to know, electric school buses in the state. Does anybody know? I mean, I know Brantford did townwide, I think, their whole district. I know ACES has one, got it a couple years ago in Hamden. And there's some other towns. Do we know how many electric school buses are in the state? How many? I think it's 5,000 school buses in the state. How many are electrified? And if nobody knows, that's fine. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'd be happy to find out or try to find some numbers and let you know.
No, it's okay. I don't want to put something on your plate. It's not that big of a deal. I may ask CABE, the Board of Ed Association.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and we work with CABE a bit and CASBO and CAPS and all the other associations for school business officials and superintendents and the like.
yeah,
Uh,
Casbo and Caps would probably be better than CABE. CABE's not going to really know anything. They're just a Board of Ed. I'm on a Board of Ed for what it's worth. So it's the people who actually do the work are the ones who know it.
All right. Good. Well, everybody, thank you for coming out. And once again, Rudy and Jayson, thank you for showing up. And this was really good. So we will spread far and wide. All right, folks. Thank you. Have yourselves a great evening, and I'm sure we'll all be in touch. Take care.
Thank you
Thanks,
for having
everyone.
us.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.